Have you ever walked into a room, stopped mid-step, and wondered, now why did I come in here? Or maybe you found yourself struggling to recall a name seconds after someone introduces themselves, even though you were really paying attention. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, these little memory slips can start to feel like regular guests in our daily lives. And while they're often harmless, they can still feel frustrating, even a little scary sometimes. But here's something you need to hear. Forgetting a name or a date doesn't mean your memory is fading beyond repair. In fact, your brain is far more adaptable and resilient than you might think. No matter your age, our minds need just as much care and attention as the rest of our bodies. We exercise to keep our hearts strong and joints moving. But what about our memory? What if I told you there are small, everyday habits you can start right now that may actually sharpen your memory? Not just slow down the decline, but actively improve how clearly you think, recall, and focus. And no, it doesn't involve hours of puzzles or expensive supplements. In this video, we're diving into 6 simple science-backed habits that help keep your memory sharp after 65. These aren't complicated tricks or routines that take hours of your time. These are small, doable habits, daily shifts, that can make a world of difference. So let's get right into it. Let's start with something you might not expect. Hydration. Yes, I know. We hear drink more water all the time, and it sounds almost too simple. But here's the thing, even mild dehydration, and I'm talking just a little bit, can have a direct impact on your ability to concentrate and remember things. As we age, our sense of thirst can become less reliable. That means you might not even feel thirsty, even when your body truly needs fluids. And when your brain is even slightly dehydrated, it's like trying to run your car on low fuel. Things start to slow down. You might feel foggy, easily distracted, or forgetful. Try starting your day with a full glass of water before anything else. Even before coffee. Keep a water bottle nearby or a glass on the counter where you'll see it. Make it visual. You don't need to guzzle gallons, just be mindful. Little by little, you'll start to notice that clearer, more alert feeling in the morning and throughout your day. Now let's talk about another powerful and often overlooked habit. Getting enough quality sleep. I'm not talking about just lying in bed for 8 hours. I mean deep, restful sleep that helps your brain actually process and store the things you learned or experienced that day. Sleep isn't just about rest. It's when your brain gets to do its housekeeping. That's when short-term memories move into long-term storage. So if your sleep is poor, your memory will reflect that. Have you ever had one of those groggy mornings where everything feels a little jumbled? That's your brain saying, I didn't get a chance to organize things last night. One gentle shift that can really help is building a wind-down routine before bed. It might be turning off screens an hour earlier, listening to calming music, or even a warm herbal tea like chamomile or lemon balm. Whatever helps you slow down. And if you wake often at night, which is very common after 60, try not to panic. Instead, keep a little notepad by your bed. Sometimes writing down that nagging thought helps your mind let go and return to sleep more easily. The third habit is one of my favorites because it's simple and so effective, and that's using your memory on purpose. You see, we often rely on our phones, calendars, reminders, and sticky notes for everything. And while there's nothing wrong with those tools, when we stop using our brain for remembering small things, our brain stops thinking it needs to. It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. So, make it a point to memorize something small every day. It could be your grocery list instead of writing it down. Or try remembering 3 people you talked to that day and something they said. You could even challenge yourself with a short poem or a favorite quote. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to engage your memory intentionally. This works especially well when you add a little repetition and visualization. For example, if you're trying to remember someone's name, repeat it out loud in conversation. Nice to meet you, Linda. And imagine writing the name in your mind's eye or connecting it to something familiar, like a celebrity or a friend with the same name. These little mental hooks really do help, The beautiful thing is, none of these habits require a big life overhaul. There's small changes that you can blend into your routine naturally. A glass of water in the morning, a bit more attention to sleep, a small memory challenge each day. Now that we've talked about how hydration, restful sleep, and challenging your memory on purpose can gently wake up your brain and help it stay sharp, let's talk about something a bit more unexpected: your social life. You might not realize it, but the simple act of chatting with others, whether it's a neighbor, a family member, or someone you see regularly at the grocery store, actually gives your brain a workout. Having conversations, even short ones, forces your memory to activate. You recall past topics, search for the right words, and respond to someone else's story. Think about it. When you see a familiar face and say, "Hey, how was your trip to Florida last week?" Your brain has just pulled up a memory, placed it into context, and used it to connect with someone. That's powerful. And the best part? It feels good. Being social lifts your spirits, reduces stress, and keeps your mind engaged. Some people worry about becoming more isolated with age. Maybe friends have moved away, or it just feels harder to meet new people. But staying socially connected doesn't have to mean a packed calendar. Even one meaningful interaction a day can make a big difference. You might call your sister, chat with a neighbor across the fence, or strike up a conversation while waiting in line. And if you're more comfortable online, joining a virtual group or forum where people your age share stories and advice can also be a great way to stay engaged. The next habit we often overlook is what's happening on your plate. Your brain is a hungry organ. It needs the right kind of fuel to function at its best. And no, I'm not talking about trendy diets or anything extreme. Just small shifts that can give your brain the nutrients it craves. For example, foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like walnuts, flax seeds, and especially fatty fish like salmon, are known to support brain health. Berries, particularly blueberries, are packed with antioxidants that help protect your brain cells from aging. And don't forget leafy greens. A simple handful of spinach in your omelet or a side salad at dinner can really help. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Try to build these brain-friendly foods into your meals in a way that feels natural and enjoyable. Maybe you enjoy tuna salad sandwiches. Great. That's already giving you omega-3s. Or maybe you could swap a cookie for a small bowl of mixed berries in the afternoon. Little steps, big impact. Another thing to keep an eye on is sugar. While a sweet treat now and then is totally fine, too much sugar over time can actually cause inflammation in the brain and make it harder to focus. You might notice it as that foggy, sluggish feeling after a big sugary snack. Try to balance it out with fiber and healthy fats. They help keep your blood sugar more stable, which keeps your brain more steady too. Now let's move into something I think is truly underrated. Movement. Not just exercise. Movement. You don't have to be sweating it out in a gym or running laps around the block. Simply moving your body each day helps get oxygen and nutrients flowing to your brain, which helps it function better. Plain and simple. A walk around your neighborhood, gentle stretches in the living room, even light gardening or dancing to music while you make lunch. All of it counts. And the bonus? Physical movement often clears your head. Have you ever noticed how a walk outside can make your thoughts feel more organized? That's no coincidence. When your body moves, your brain wakes up. One of the best things you can do is find movement that brings you joy. If walking feels peaceful, make it part of your morning or evening. If you enjoy dancing, put on music from your favorite decade and let yourself move. Even a seated exercise routine can be incredibly effective. You're not doing it to lose weight or impress anyone. You're doing it because your brain loves it. By now, you're probably noticing a pattern. These memory-boosting habits aren't difficult or drastic. They're small things you can begin adding into your routine. Gently, steadily, and they build on each other. You drink a little more water, you create a better bedtime routine. You challenge your memory with a name or a list. You reach out to a friend or enjoy a good chat. You swap out a sugary snack for berries. You move a little more and laugh a little harder. None of it needs to be perfect. What matters is that you keep going, that you keep choosing to stay engaged with your own health and happiness. Because your brain is not done yet. It still wants to learn, to connect, to remember. And it can. Next, we're going to look at a habit that may surprise you. Something that doesn't just support your memory, but your mood and sense of purpose too. It's one of the most powerful things you can do each day to keep your mind alive and thriving. Let's talk about something simple yet powerful. Learning something new every day. You might be thinking, at my age, do I really need to learn more? And the answer is, not only can you, but your brain actually loves it. You see, the brain is like a muscle. The more you use it in different ways, the stronger and more flexible it becomes. Learning doesn't have to mean taking a class or reading a big textbook. It can be as simple as picking up a new word in a crossword puzzle, trying a new recipe, or even watching a short video about something you've never explored before. Like how bees make honey or the history of a song you loved growing up. Each time you stretch your mind in a new direction, you help create new connections in the brain. And those connections keep your memory sharp, your thinking clear, and your confidence strong. It's not about perfection or performance. It's about curiosity. Think about that. Staying curious is a gift you give yourself, and it doesn't expire with age. You might even want to keep a little notebook. Nothing fancy, just something where you write down one new thing you learned that day. It could be a fact, a quote, a song lyric, or something you noticed on your walk. The act of writing it down helps cement the memory, and when you flip back through the pages later, it's a beautiful reminder of how vibrant and engaged you still are. And while we're on the topic of being present and mindful, this leads beautifully into the final habit, practicing moments of stillness. Yes, stillness. We often think staying mentally sharp means always doing. But the brain also needs quiet, space, breathing room. Have you ever noticed how sometimes when you stop thinking so hard about something, like a name or a word you just can't recall, it suddenly comes to you when you're not even trying? That's the brain at work in the background, and giving it those pauses, that calm, actually helps it function better. Taking even just 5 minutes a day to sit quietly, eyes closed, deep breathing, no distractions, can do wonders for your memory and focus. This kind of mindfulness helps lower stress, and high stress is one of the biggest enemies of a sharp mind. When you're tense or anxious, your brain has a harder time retrieving information. But when you're calm, it flows more freely. You don't have to meditate like a monk. Just sit somewhere comfortable, maybe near a window, and focus on your breath. In and out. No pressure, no goal. Just being still. Let your thoughts drift if they want to. You're not trying to control anything, just letting your mind rest. And rest is healing. Some people also find peace in prayer, listening to soft music, or even just sitting with a warm cup of tea. What matters is that you give your mind a moment to just be. It's a gift in our busy world, and a habit that can refresh you from the inside out. So let's take a breath together now, just for a moment. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Doesn't that feel good? If you've made it this far, I want you to hear something loud and clear. Forgetfulness is not failure. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a natural part of living, of aging, of having a beautiful, full life with so many experiences and memories tucked inside your heart. But what is powerful is knowing that you have control, that you can support your memory, sharpen your thinking, and continue to live with clarity, purpose, and confidence. Every small habit we've talked about today, from staying hydrated, to moving your body, to learning, to resting your mind, they're not hard. They're gentle, meaningful choices that can become part of your rhythm, part of how you care for yourself.